So welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough and this is episode 575. This is being broadcasted live on YouTube, which is youtube.com/Joseph Clough. And that means if you want to attend these live streams, you can actually have your questions answered, or if there's any themes. And also we do live hypnosis sessions on Wednesdays. And that means we can make custom hypnosis sessions for you. So in this episode, we're going to be covering a wide, varying set of topics, from burnout to creativity, from managing stress, and really just embracing yourself to do and be and have whatever you desire. You see, in my mind, all transformation starts in the mind. It's not the external world and all the things which happen to us. It's about how we approach it, how we act and react around it. So whether you want to be more creative, whether you want to manage your stress levels, whether you want to just reclaim your energy, we've got to begin to pay attention. You see, when it comes to things like burnout is a signal. It's telling our body to stop. It's our system, our unconscious mind is saying, look, something's wrong. But something needs to be paid attention to. Now, if we broaden this as an analogy when it comes to burnout, think of the symptoms that we experience in our life. Now, you may experience worries, doubts, anxieties, fears, phobias, imposter syndrome, the inner critic, limiting beliefs, limiting decisions, behaviors we no longer desire. Each and every single one of those, they're signals, just like burnout. You see, the burnout is telling us to pay attention, just like anxiety. Just like managing stress. Now, if we ignore those things, if we ignore what is happening in our body and the symptoms and the signals that it's telling us, guess what's going to happen? It's going to increase the intensity. When you are just if you keep on going, doing what you're doing and not paying attention, it's almost as if your unconscious mind, your biological body, is screaming out to you, but not being heard. Now, I don't know about you, but I think many people want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be felt. You know, they want to experience that connection. So if our unconscious mind is screaming out that through the anxiety, through the stress, through the worries, through the doubts, through the limiting thoughts that we have, and we ignore them and we don't pay attention, our unconscious mind is not being seen, heard, or felt. So it screams louder. And then sometimes, unfortunately, those symptoms increase, just trying to be heard. And it's in the same way as expressing ourselves and allowing ourselves to go into situations. You see, sometimes we care about how people see us in the world. And once again, that just increases the stress, the worries, the doubts, the anxieties. And we begin to shy away, we begin to hide away. And just like the burnout, that's the result. We feel tired, we feel exhausted. We can't manage our stress. So we start to go on the inside, but in a negative way. But what if we make a decision today that we're going to treat ourselves a little better? That we're going to look within ourselves and listen to our unconscious mind, to listen to the symptoms. You see, if I fall over and hurt my leg, I'm going to feel pain. Why? Because my body needs to recuperate. If it didn't have the pain, I'll be damaging it even more. So that pain is there for a good reason. So imagine those signals from the worries, the doubts, the anxieties, all the symptoms that we experience, even the external contrasting experiences that we get from other people who say we cannot do what we want to be doing. We cannot be who we want to be. We got to pay attention to those signals too, the internal signals of the symptoms, but also the external symptoms of what people tell us. You see, we can include all these subjects together and still make sense, because they're one of the same thing. It's an analogy, it's a metaphor that we can apply into our life. And sometimes we've got to take a moment. How often have you just taken a moment to be here, to be still, to listen to your thoughts, to consider what is really happening? Sometimes we have to embrace those symptoms for allowing them to go, because they're not being heard. And we got to listen to them. We got to think about that. You see, if you're going to truly embrace who you are as a person, as a way of being in this world, as a person who's going to overcome what they're going through, that you're going to go through the challenges, you're going to push through the fear even, you have to pay attention. And that goes into a whole different subject. But like, who are we paying attention to? Are we paying attention to what other people are telling us what to do? Are we paying attention to people who have no idea about what our heart is? Maybe there's something on your heart that you're like, I want to be someone. I want to create something. I want to develop a business. I want to be able to have that meaningful relationship. I want to travel the world. But other people might be just saying, who are you to have those things? But who are we not to have those things? Why should we be limited by what other people think? Other people's opinions are none of our business unless we allow it to become our business. And that's what I mean by listening. Are we listening to our heart, our mind, our passions, our purposes, our missions, our ambitions? Or are we even listening to those symptoms that our unconscious mind are handing over to us that we're ignoring? Are we listening to people who have no idea what is in our mind, have no idea what our passion and purpose is? Now you have to decipher the difference between what is illusion and what is reality. Are we buying into other people's expectations? Are we buying into their thoughts? Are we allowing them to take up rent in our mind without even paying for that matter? Or shall we make a decision? Maybe it's our time to change. Maybe it is our time to be resourceful and ask the right questions. To ask the right people for advice. Maybe not to even take on the advice, and even this advice. You see, I want to ask questions that make you think, but I don't want you to accept it as a reality. I want you to come up with your own conclusions, your own thought, your own journey that will give you the freedom. I think we've been told too long to be a certain way, or that there's only one pathway, there's only one way of getting to our outcome. But really, the truth of the matter is, if you are to succeed, you've got to be flexible. In other words, the person or the system with the most flexibility will dictate what happens. It means evolving, it means adapting, it means transforming, it means every no leads us quicker to the yes. That everything that is happening does not mean failure, it is just feedback. And we can choose to take on what we want to take on. You see, sometimes you just need to be that example, you need to shine your light so those people who have been doubting you know that there's a solution out there. Usually they're projecting their beliefs upon others because that's all they know. And sometimes we project our own beliefs upon ourselves because that's all we've been told, or that is all we know because we perceive it as our identity. Who am I to have money? Who am I to be abundant? Who am I to do something that I love and get paid for it? Who am I to travel the world? Who am I to have love? All those things. You see, that perception becomes your projection. Whatever you perceive to be true becomes our reality. So what filter are we looking through? Are we looking through the filter of fear? Are we looking through the filter of the past? Are we looking through the filter of those limiting beliefs? Are we looking through the filter of other people? You see, that perception that we have makes up our world. Our beliefs, our thoughts, our values, our language, our personality types, the decisions we've made, all of those things create what we perceive to be true. So if we're truly wanting to be creative, if we're truly wanting to let go of burnout, if we're truly wanting to not manage stress, but let go of the stress so we can be more productive, if we truly want to embrace who we are, regardless of what other people think of us, we've got to get back to the truth of the nature of who you are. And the nature of who you are is what you choose to create. Now, yeah, there's going to be things that get in the way. Yes, we have biological issues sometimes. Yes, there's economical issues, all those things. But sometimes I think we buy into some of them, not all of them, but some of them too often. Sometimes I think we give ourselves reasons to remain the same because it makes it easier for us. And as I said, it's not for everyone or every situation, and I think you can distinguish between the real truth of the matter. I think you can distinguish the difference or decipher if I deserve to be over there at the heart of the matter compared to the illusion I'm creating. If I deserve to have more money or abundance so I can make an impact in the world, or so I can be more creative, I need to find my why. I need to find what's important to me. I need to listen to my unconscious mind. For when we listen to our unconscious mind, it will start to respond back. If you're not listening, it's shouting. When you're listening, it's communicating. And then you can begin to speak the truth to your unconscious mind. You can guide it, you can direct it, you can give it the epiphanies, you can give it the learnings, because it's only doing what it's doing to try to protect you. It might be inappropriate, it might be overwhelming, it might be unwarranted, but if the true nature of the unconscious mind, the prime directive, the only thing, what its core principle is protection. No one likes a phobia, but it's a protective mechanism. I want us to go back to see beyond the behavior and see the intent behind it. What is the intention behind those signals? What is the intention behind the behaviors within ourselves and within other people? If people are trying to bring us down, what is the intention? The behavior is bad, we know that. We don't like to be told what to do. But what is the intention behind it? Maybe they're playing out their own fears. Maybe they were told that they couldn't do something, so therefore they're projecting it on you. So if you discover the intention, you can decipher behind the noise and go, okay, they're just playing out their own fears, or they're just looking out for me. They don't know me and why I want to be doing what I'm doing, but I at least can appreciate the intent, not the behavior, but the intent. If I can understand the unconscious mind and the intention behind the signals and the symptoms, now I have a way of communicating with myself. I can start to speak to my unconscious mind and go, do you know what? Maybe there's a different way of being safe. Maybe there's a new opportunity for me that will allow me to have more safety without the issue in itself. You see, if you want to be the creator of your life, if you want to be creative in who you are, it's about assuming that responsibility and listening and understanding the nature of yourself, the nature of your unconscious mind. We rarely pay attention because we're in this fast-paced world, or paced world. What's the first thing you do in the morning? You get on your phone. You don't even pay attention to what's really happening in your system half the time, I'm sure. We go ahead and look at the news. We check in on other people's lives before we check in on our own. We go to the Facebook, we go to the social media, we go to Twitter, we go to YouTube, we go to all these other places before we actually go to where we are, where your unconscious mind is. How are we ever meant to change or be successful or to get our goals or dreams if our attention is on the external world or the external world of other people's lives? Because it means our value is not as important because our attention is over there. Let's bring it back and put our intention and attention to ourselves for a little while. You see, when I used to wake up, I used to always check the news. In fact, I used to watch the TV to check the news, and that was just disturbing, so I quit the TV and then I went to the app. So I checked the app on the news, Sky News, and I was getting lost in the world events before I focused on my own events. I thought I could mitigate the problem by just being able to choose what I saw, but I had to scroll through it still. My attention was elsewhere, so I deleted all the news apps. Now, can I check in on the news? Sure, but not before I check in on myself. I want to be able to check on my stress. I want to be able to see where my body is at. I want to see where my thoughts are. I want to be mindful. I want to be able to consider who I am as a person, how I'm going to enter this world, before I jump into this fast-paced world which is going 1,000,000 times per hour. Can you imagine jumping onto a moving thing going even 25 mile an hour or 50 mile an hour? It's going to be pretty tricky, let alone when you get up. That's like how we participate in the world, in other people's news, in other people's minds, and that's not right. We need to be able to gain the speed by gaining the traction of what's happening on the inside. That's how you manage stress, you pay attention. That's how you avoid burnout, you pay attention. That's how you start to become more creativity in who you are, by paying attention on the inside and seeing what makes you go, what makes you move before you look at other people. That's how you embrace yourself, to allow others to see who you really are. You pay attention to who you are. So ask yourself, how often do you pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, not being the product of it? Because of course, yeah, I'm aware of anxiety, I'm aware of my doubts, and I'm aware of my behaviors. That's being the effect of it. How often do I pay attention to the reasoning behind it, the intention, the meaning behind it, the essence behind those symptoms? See, if you're going to solve something in the world, if you want to solve a conversation, if you want to solve an argument, you want to be able to look deeper than just the noise that is being said. You want to look at that intention. Most conflict in the world could be solved, not all, but some, or most, is by understanding where the person is coming from, looking through the eyes of that person. How do they come to that conclusion? How do they come to that belief system where I'm having this argument? Now you may be asking, why am I talking about being through other people's eyes? Well, maybe go through your unconscious mind's eyes. How's your unconscious mind feeling today? What is it trying to express to you? Maybe it feels like it's not being heard, listened, or felt. And I think, as I said, that's what we all crave. We want to be heard. We want to be seen. We want to feel like we belong. But if we're avoiding the very same thing and not paying attention to our own system, which is keeping us safe every single day, as we sleep, as we eat, as we drive, the habits, the organs, the healing, just think how much your unconscious mind, your biological body is running beneath the surface, which you don't even know about. Yet sometimes we don't give it the credit, we don't pay attention. And when it is trying to scream out to us, I should say, when it comes to the anxiety, the worries, the doubts, the fears, all those things, and we're not truly paying attention, we're the byproduct of it, we feel it, but we don't understand it. We don't pay attention to the meaning behind the behavior or the symptom. So let's take a moment. Let's ask ourselves, what are we feeling? And I mean, what are we really feeling? What's really happening beneath the surface? Because when you do, you'll be gaining rapport with yourself again. There was a famous hypnotist called Dr. Milton Erickson. He was the hypnotist who kind of really brought hypnosis out, the stage hypnosis. And he said something like this: patients are patients because they are out of rapport with themselves. They've been so hypnotized by the external world, they forgot who they really are. I may have added that last sentence. And I think that is true. We're paying too much attention on the outside that we're out of rapport with ourselves. So take a moment right now, every morning, every few hours, check in with yourself. Monitor your thoughts. Be the observer of what's truly happening, not the ignorer of what is happening. See it for what it really is and see what you can do about it. Interrupt it, negotiate with it. Because when you do, I think life will transform. When you do, I feel like you will gain more freedom and more control because you are in tune with your unconscious. Now, sometimes it's hard, but that's okay. It takes time. It takes time to sometimes befriend your unconscious because maybe we haven't been listening for a long time. Maybe the rapport has been broken. But just because it's broken, it doesn't mean we can't get it back. So put the time and put the effort, invest within yourself if need be. If you want to fast track it, I don't mind what you do. But the key is to pay attention. The key is to know that something is happening beneath the surface that we need to pay attention to. Otherwise it's going to simmer, otherwise it's going to grow, otherwise it's going to expand, and therefore no one wins. Because we don't want to go where symptoms keep on growing. So pay attention. Check in with yourself. Allow your unconscious mind to be acknowledged. Think about it, don't you want to be acknowledged? We say we want to embrace ourselves. We say we want to be able to go for what we really want to. We want to be seen by other people. We want to have that potential. We want to be able to go for those goals and dreams. But sometimes, in order to embrace our true self, we need to embrace our unconscious mind. We need to be able to look at it. We need to be able to connect to it. Whether it takes time, whether it takes investment, whatever. I mean, it's all investment, money or time, right? Investment of time, investment of money. Sometimes the investment of money shortcuts for time, but either way, the investment, whatever you have, whatever you use, whatever you have, right? Whatever you've got. So invest in time at the very least to nurture your unconscious mind, to give it what it needs, and to get yourself to where it truly has to be. So I hope you enjoyed that. Or at least I hope you got some value. I really want us to take away that we do need to pay attention. We need to acknowledge. And of course, if you want help with this, if you want to be able to be taken by the hand to get to where you want to be, just go to josephclough.info/power. And therefore, you can watch our masterclass and see if it's a good fit. You may not be, and that's okay. But you never know until you find out. josephclough.info/power. And on top of that, you can always download my free app at freehypnosis.app. And at freehypnosis.app, you can go ahead and download the hypnosis sessions, all the podcasts like this. You're going to choose over 100 hypnosis sessions. We just added like 37 new episodes. Even imposter syndrome, and they're all in day and night version now. You can download them, you can favor them. And if you ever have a chance, go ahead and leave a review. So that means your review may just inspire someone to make that change too. Because it's all within you. So until the next episode, I wish you the greatness. I wish you to reconnect with yourself. And I'll speak to you in the next episode. Many thanks and goodbye.